The rest of the NFL is completely blind to this, yet the Raiders are secretly constructing the most terrifying rookie signal caller protection plan we have ever witnessed. Furthermore, it features a jaw-dropping homecoming for an iconic team hero that caught absolutely everyone completely off guard. Before unraveling this madness, absolutely obliterate that subscribe button for the quickest Vegas updates on the internet. Are we genuinely witnessing the exact moment our beloved silver and black brass starts playing chess while the rest play checkers? Listen to me closely. The sheer momentum surrounding this organization is transforming phenomenally right before our eyes. It is common knowledge that tossing a fresh prospect to the Wolves without armor is an absolute catastrophe. History constantly shows us how that nightmare violently destroys phenomenal young talent. Selecting a young prodigy and demanding miracles is completely impossible unless you arm him with brutal blockers, a rushing attack, and wise veterans. However, our current management absolutely rejects that toxic cycle. The unanimous chatter across the association insists Vegas will burn that first overall selection on securing phenom Fernando Mendoza. Snagging him at the very top sends violent shockwaves. It fundamentally rewrites our team DNA and catapults the fan base into a glorious new epoch. Yet, pulling his card is merely phase one. Shielding his blind side is the true stroke of absolute genius, which leads directly to this week's most explosive rumor. Ex-franchise gunslinger Derek Carr just publicly volunteered for a shocking Vegas reunion. The man stood in front of microphones, begging to ride the pine simply to guide young Mendoza. Process that magnitude. A warrior who poured out his soul for us, who truly comprehends the immense weight of our turf, and who brilliantly dissects intricate secondary schemes, is dropping his ego to educate our future star. Injecting Carr into that film room to sculpt our prodigy alters the entire competitive landscape. He demonstrates the profound honor of donning our colors. He brings pure ice to the chaos when massive defenders crash the pocket. This ultimate sacrifice confirms our toxic environment is dead forever. Just hold your breath when you discover the explosive target management wants tracking down those deep bombs next year. Demanding a freshman chuck the rock 40 times toward unproven targets is suicide. This boy requires a forged-in-fire juggernaut. The football whispers are violently deafening today. Vegas is launching an all-out assault to acquire legendary playmaker Deebo Samuel. Look, I hear your doubts loud and clear. Deebo endured a brutally hellish stretch in 2025. Relocating to the capital absolutely tanked his production. We are staring at a meager 72 grabs, 727 yards, and 5 measly scores. His trademark rushing violence vanished entirely. Considering this monster previously terrorized secondaries with unparalleled run-after-catch abilities, those plummeted metrics definitely trigger massive red flags. Which culprit sabotaged that catastrophic campaign for the star last season? Blast your answers down below. Yet this highlights the sheer cunning of our executives. The man just hit 30 years old. That statistical nosedive absolutely destroyed his financial leverage. Pundits everywhere scream his career is over. Consequently, his contract demands plummeted toward $12 to $14 million annually. That is spectacular highway robbery for someone possessing his lethal championship experience. The veteran is marching into a massive revenge tour right now. The primal urge to remind opponents of his lethal dominance will be intoxicating. Plus, for a raw gunslinger like Mendoza, this bruiser is the ultimate get-out-of-jail card. Split him to the boundary, stash him inside, or just ram him directly through the trenches. Should zero coverage utterly paralyze our rookie, a simple dump-off lets this physical freak shatter multiple defenders for miraculous chain movement. It is a financial masterpiece and gridiron perfection. Handing our prospect someone who transforms a 2-yard flick into a 50-yard explosion is the undeniable blueprint for victory. Just wait until you witness their vicious ground attack renovations designed to instantly relieve our prodigy's burden. An aerial circus is wonderful. However, an inexperienced passer will absolutely crumble without a violently physical rushing attack to anchor him. Commander Clint Kubak is orchestrating a brutal playbook requiring pure, terrifyingly aggressive downhill juggernauts. During the previous campaign, freshman Ashton Janney battled brutally to secure any consistent offensive momentum. The kid requires stability, and forcing the entire workload onto his shoulders again is a terrifyingly reckless bet. We demand a twin-headed Hydra. You desperately need an absolute tank capable of shattering stacked boxes when everyone in the stadium anticipates a dive, which explains these aggressive rumors targeting Brian Robinson Jr. to become our thunderous enforcer. Do not mistake this for simple roster filler. The man is a literal wrecking ball. Historically, this monster has violently carved out 2,729 rushing yards, snatched over 600 receiving, and bulldozed for 22 scores. No bench warmer here. He is the absolute missing puzzle piece for Kubok's devastating zone concepts. The moment those opposing titans start gasping for air late, you unleash Robinson to absolutely pulverize their tired souls. Fusing his pure violence alongside Janty unleashes a terrifying Vegas backfield destined to shatter enemy spirits. Our rookie will never face the impossible task of carrying this squad alone. An unstoppable rushing attack bleeds the clock, rests our defenders, and perfectly sets up lethal, wide-open deep shots. This specific breed of terrifyingly relentless ball carrier is the absolute bedrock of dynasty franchises. Now prepare yourselves for the ruthless predator management just locked down to violently overhaul the entire defensive squad's mindset. A flashy scoring unit guarantees absolutely nothing in January. You desperately require warriors executing with raw hostility, bad intentions, and terrifying ferocity on every single down. Management just successfully captured a gladiator overflowing with that exact venom. Executive John Spike and Special Units Mastermind Joe D'Amililes proudly announced the capture of savage linebacker Segan Alubi. Surface-level observers will probably disregard this acquisition immediately. The Enforcer spent 4 campaigns hunting in Indianapolis, seeing relatively limited defensive action during the prior run. Box score watchers will roll their eyes and sleep on him, but do not let the sterile analytics deceive you whatsoever. The man is an absolute human missile. He suited up for all 17 battles recently, thriving entirely in the brutal, bloody trenches where average athletes refuse to tread. This guy obliterated return units with 11 vicious tackles, knocking the football loose in a game-breaking turnover. That catapults him into a ridiculously rare brotherhood of professional athletes, boasting double-digit takedowns plus a fumble recovery during kicking sequences. We are not simply talking about average stats here. This is a momentum-shifting force of nature. He is an absolute behemoth, towering at 6 feet 3 inches and packing 220 pounds of shredded armor. Yet he blazes down the turf with horrifying speed for a defensive anchor, scorching the 40-yard sprint in just 4.45 seconds. Fusing that gargantuan frame with such volcanic acceleration delivers precisely the weapon Damley's desperately demanded. Yet, hold your breath, because here comes the most mind-blowing revelation regarding Alubi. This is the very identical phenom who shattered through the line to swallow up a kick against Las Vegas during the previous campaign. Does that unforgettable showdown ring a bell? That obliterated kick proved to be a catastrophic nightmare for our squad, instantly leading to the agonizing physical setback suffered by our premier specialist, A.J. Cole. Ali Bobby completely shattered our entire Sunday all by himself through sheer, unyielding ferocity. Witnessing our own coverage squad being violently torn apart on the field truly stung like a knife in the back. Suddenly, that identical brand of terrifying, game-wrecking chaos belongs inside our own locker room. Picture unleashing that staggering velocity and sheer brutality upon our terrified rivals next season. We are absolutely not looking at some meaningless acquisition designed merely to warm the bench. What we have here is a brilliant, breathtaking clinic in roster construction. Spike is broadcasting a thunderous, unmistakable warning shot straight across the bow of every single franchise out there. The mandate is remarkably simple. He demands only those warriors who bring unwavering focus alongside crushing physical superiority across every single position. He seeks gladiators willing to bleed for every microscopic blade of turf. The athletes currently inside those walls have already completely surrendered to this fiercely aggressive, hard-nosed cultural revolution. Alubi flawlessly embodies that vicious, unforgiving, smash-mouth identity which originally forged the foundation of this legendary organization all those decades ago. Each and every calculated maneuver zeroes in on a single, monumental objective. The brass, operating out of Las Vegas, has officially stopped playing games. Management is actively constructing an unbreakable shield of armor around Fernando Mendoza, long before the kid ever steps up to don that cap on Selection Thursday. They secured a ruthless, head-hunting specialist in Alubi to entirely detonate and reconstruct the physical grit coursing through the veins of that locker room. They went on the prowl for an experienced, bone-crushing bruiser like Brian Robinson, strictly to ensure our rushing attack becomes an absolutely unstoppable juggernaut. The strategy involves snatching a premier phenom like Deebo Samuel at an absolute bargain, gifting the incoming freshman a dynamic, lightning-fast threat capable of finding the end zone from literally any blade of grass. Furthermore, they are opening the doors once again for Derek Carr, bringing him back home to mentor the rookie on surviving the absolute most brutal, unforgiving professional athletic gauntlet on the planet. Forget the idea of throwing blind darts at the off-season acquisition board. What we are witnessing is a ruthlessly precise, masterfully orchestrated campaign of dominance. We are watching an absolute, ground-up reinvention of this franchise's entire DNA. Could they genuinely be assembling a heavily fortified war machine destined to stun the entire sporting universe come autumn? I am firmly convinced the answer is yes. The Silver and Black are engineering a terrifying playground enforcer, and the surrounding rivals desperately need to open their eyes before they get completely steamrolled. Drop your fiercest opinions in the comments section immediately. Sound off and tell me if you believe this genius tactical blueprint carries enough firepower to absolutely conquer the division during the upcoming campaign.